Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. When Blizzard released patch 9.15, the focus of this update was to give players as much catch-up benefits as possible for their mains and alts. We got things like renown catch-up, gear catch-up, resource catch-up, and this week Blizzard added even more catch-ups for our fresh new level 60 characters. This update improves the conduit acquisition for our fresh characters, especially as we're heading into patch 9.2, where the ranks of these conduits is gonna go up. And we have improvements to honor gains to help PvP gearing become a little bit smoother throughout the season, with potentially big gearing updates going forward in the next build. So let's talk about these updates and I'll give you guys my thoughts on everything we have today. But first, before that, most of you guys watch these videos are still not subscribed. And if you're watching these videos anyway, you might as well hit subscribe as well as hit the bell to be kept up with everything that's going on that's new with World of Warcraft in future 9.2 updates. In patch 9.15, Blizzard added a brand new broker vendor on the second floor of Oribos right next to the Flight Master, and this broker offers a lot of character catch-ups, from a renown token to anima transfers and everything you need like catch-up gear that your mains can buy for alts. Well, now they added a new item on that vendor that will allow your alt characters to boost all their conduits or discover conduits they haven't earned yet up to item level 200. For a fresh new character, this item allows them to unlock all their conduits instantly instead of having to do world quests, PvP, raids, and dungeons in order to unlock them gradually over time. This item isn't really expensive, it is something you can purchase on your main and then send it over to your alts. To use this item, first head over to your Covenant Sanctum. Inside of your Sanctum, find the Forge of Bonds. Once interacting with the Forge of Bonds, click the item and this will unlock you all the conduits you haven't unlocked yet and upgrade the ones that you have at lower level to item level 200. This item is amazing for fresh new characters, and as someone who has one of every class as an alt, trust me, it takes a while to get all the conduits you need. Doing random little obscure world quests, queuing for dungeons, doing raids, and even PvP, just to get some of your best in slot passives so you can finally feel viable. This is a much better change than what you had to do previously. The item level 200 might be a little low for the current patch of Shadowlands, but it's way better having these conduits than not having them at all. And hopefully going into patch 9.2, as we're playing in Season 3, the ranks of our conduits is going to go up from raiding, dungeons, PvP. So hopefully Blizzard will up the item level of some of these base conduits we'll get with this item, which will make catching up for alts even easier going forward. Because these conduits are pretty important. In fact, they almost feel like a part of our class for many players, and when you just don't have them, especially at a higher rank, it just feels like a portion of your class is missing. They're not exactly like gear, like getting the Sylvanas daggers. Yes, they are a damage upgrade as a rogue, but they're not necessary for you to be able to execute a rotation. But that conduit that increases your nature damage when you shiv a target, that feels mandatory for your playstyle, and it is. It's such a big upgrade to how you play your class. Because conduits are part of our class, I really think going forward into 9.2, Blizzard needs to make acquisition of higher ranks of conduits even easier. I mean, right now, the Korthia farm is pretty decent, but not everybody has the time to just farm Korthia endlessly, which, you know, it's better than what we had to do previously, but this could be improved. Conduits are part of our class, and for many players, they feel like a portion of your class is just not there when you don't have them at a high enough rank. So hopefully their thoughts and ideas about conduits and how they're treated going forward gets adjusted, and maybe they'll even make acquiring higher tiers of those conduits that are so integral to some of the playstyles we have right now easier to acquire. Next, we got an update to honor earned in battlegrounds, arenas, and anything that is PvP. The honor earned is being increased by 40%, with Blizzard posting on the community council post their thoughts on PvP gearing and going forward. Whenever you queue into battlegrounds or arenas, you'll notice a buff that allows you to gain more conquests because we're kind of in the middle of a season, waiting for patch 9.2 and Season 3. Currently catching up for PvP is fairly easy, though Blizzard wanted to make it even easier, so they're adding an extra bonus to the currently active buff where we gain more conquest to also gain 40% more honor while we're waiting for patch 9.2. So to test this honor gain, I queued on my Alliance character just for faster queues. This character has no gear and could use a bit more honor. Queuing for a random battleground, we got Eye of the Storm, and after trying our hardest, we still wasn't able to defeat the Horde and lost. However, I got 400 honor for losing a battleground, which would have been way higher if we actually won it. Although I did queue the battleground as an alliance character, and alliance already gets extra bonus honor, so that should probably be accounted somewhere. Nevertheless, more honor is a good thing. Hey, bring in even more honor. Why does it have to be only 40%? Make it 50 and even 60. And since we're gaining more honor, it will be really nice if they did something about the honor cap. The current 15,000 honor cap is a little small and feels a little tight. If they made it 30,000, 40,000, or remove it entirely, which would feel a lot better and make me camp the honor vendor a lot less, since now I earn even more honor, and since I earn it quickly, I gotta spend it quickly, so then as I do my next battleground, I don't overcap and waste honor. When Blizzard officially responded to the community council post that discussed Shadowlands PvP gearing, this is what they said, and I want to read it out as a quote. As everyone knows, expectations about how PvP gearing should play out during a player's initial gearing up phase each season has shifted from expansion to expansion, and we've seen a lot of those expectations even shift from patch to patch, especially since the end of Legion. When we set about working on 9.2 from a PvP perspective, it was very clear the players wanted the gearing up phase to be shorter, and the staircase of power that PvP gear represents to be even less steep. So we did just that in 9.15, and we saw mountains of feedback from PvPers that you wanted to be even shorter and even less steep. By a lot, players who posted on those threads were, in the word, unhappy. We also spotted some feedback around 9.2 that looked very positive on the changes we made. Please don't think we didn't see you. And to cut to the chase on the subject, and this is the most important part of the quote, the item level upgrade via rating tiers has to stay in place as it is currently works for this season. We are committed to keeping some consistency around such things in the middle of a season. If you're out of the loop how Shadowlands PvP gearing works is you have honor gear and you upgrade that honor gear with honor points to higher ranks. The higher the rank, the better the gear is, and it upscales in PvP. The same thing for Conquest gear, also upscales in PvP, though only earnable through Conquest points, and to upgrade the ranks of that gear, you also need a required rating in arenas and rated battlegrounds before you can upgrade that gear to a higher tier. Now, maybe I'm reading the blue post too literally, but they mentioned that they want to keep it as is for this season, which opens up a door, maybe a very creaky door, but a door for the next season to get some changes. Imagine if PvP gear was a bit more normalized. The gaps between your honor gear and conquest gear was a bit smaller than it is now. I think generally a lot of players would appreciate not getting completely steamrolled by players because they have way better gear than you do. Then we need to do things like making PvP gear, like honor gear in particular, more competitive in PvP, bridging the gaps of item levels between the best of the best honor gear and the best of the best conquest gear. Maybe even reducing the amount of ranks it takes to boost up honor gear, because right now it may feel like a full-time job just doing honor gearing, because you got to get the full honor set, then you're going to upgrade an honor, you're looking at thousands of honor points, and if Blizzard mentioned, as they said themselves, they're keeping it consistent for this season, it doesn't mean it can't change for Season 3. There's so much feedback on the gearing in Shadowlands PvP, and it can be a happy medium where the casual player feels like they can really participate in the active PvP, while the arena player still gets the advantages of doing some of the more difficult PvP content. But while we're on the topic of catch-ups, I think one catch-up that's very sorely missed that is needed in the game, especially for the upcoming build, is legendary catch-up. Currently, there are multiple ways of getting your Legos. One is dungeons, which is a 100% drop rate. Then there's Torghast, and technically, you could run twisting corridors and keep running in and out until you get the right hallway that will drop the legendary you're looking for. It's tedious, but it does work. But if your legendary is on a world boss that's on a 4-week rotation, it could be 2 or even 3 weeks before you even get a chance at your best in slot legendary. And let's not forget all those legendaries that are stuck with all the bosses of Castle Nothria, the very first raid of Shadowlands, and trying to queue for that in LFR has been pretty difficult for many players, and it's going to be even more difficult heading into patch 9.2 as we get a brand new raid tier. The gear from Castle Nothria will not satisfy many, so there'll be less people queuing for it, but we'll still need the legendaries that some of those bosses hold. So I thought of a simple idea. Why don't they add a vendor in Zereth Mortis? Like some kind of a broker that keeps collecting scrolls written by the first ones. And in those scrolls could be the etchings of some of the legendaries that we can acquire in all kinds of content in the game. And by doing daily content in Zereth Mortis, slaying rares, looting treasures, maybe even helping them out with some specific daily activities, you are able to get enough currency and you can spend that currency to just buy the legendary you need or want. Totally didn't steal that idea from the legendary vendor of Legion that was added, I think, for like the last patch of Legion, which made gearing your alts and mains for some of your best slot legendaries far easier. And there's probably more catch-ups and quality of life stuff that could be added in the game going forward, but I'm gonna just wrap it up for now. I think we discussed all the important stuff and I gave you guys enough food for thought to maybe get some interesting discussion down in the comments. So let me know in the comments what you think about all these updates. What do you think about the Conduit upgrades, and do you think the item of those things should be brought up, especially for patch 9.2? What do you think about the PvP changes to Extra Honor? Extra Honor is good, but what kind of gear changes and PvP changes do you think Blizzard should do heading into patch 9.2? I want to hear all your thoughts in the comments below, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you enjoyed. Give the video a thumbs up if you found it entertaining or informative. Join our Discord community. Link to that in the description of every single video. That's probably the best place to reach out to me if you want to hit me up directly or just DM me, or if you want to chat with the rest of the members of the Dalaran community. Thank you all so much for watching though. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see all of you in another update.